Storytellers of the New World await your arrival. They'll spin ye a tale of mystery and adventure. So grab an ale and rest ye-self from your journey across the cursed seas.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is Loreseekers, the podcast for New World. And on today's episode, we are talking server merges. We're going over the massive update that's coming to New World. Hang on a minute. Am I doing the right thing? No, I'm not doing the right. That was last week's show. This week's show, we're talking Winter Convergence, server merges, dev updates, and lore lesson, and all kinds of fun little things. Anyway, we're your hosts. I'm Jibs. I'm joined by a lot of face palms. El Champion.
Yeah. What the hell did you do?
I don't know. Why does it say this week on the show? And
It said that for like 10 weeks now.
Yeah.
How
That's
long
like
is
the
that?
second time that we've had to correct you. That was last week's
That's
stuff.
a serious.
So you know what? I just took it out of the notes.
That's a little. Oh, that's where it went. Okay.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed.
That's
a little
fair.
disappointed, but that's
That's
okay.
fair.
You know, because why? Christmas is coming. So I don't give a damn.
Christmas.
Can you do this? Can you do this with your legs? I bet you can't.
Shake him. Shake him.
Looks great on video, man.
That is awesome. And joined by Solstice.
Hey, Skull family. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And Cash.
You always sound so damn disappointed when you say my name.
What do I have to be
I'm
excited about?
excited.
It's you.
Yeah. Everybody, welcome to our Christmas show.
We obviously found a bunch of Grinches.
How,
they were like
how?
this. They were like this before the show. I was trying to joke. I was trying to have fun, and they're all.
Super serious.
Screw you and your Santa Claus.
That's because we was all business.
I don't even want to be here. Get your kid off my leg.
No, hey, for real though, the game, bro,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
like a
This
whole new
winter
world.
event is a whole new world. 10 minutes in the penalty box.
Damn it. Going on mute.
No, but for real though, dude, this winter event is nice.
It's hot.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very good. Very, very good. Amazing. This is, to me, one of the best events ever. Period. Awesome.
Yeah. There is so much new content. Like it's not just run around and gather presents. There's stories. There's elite bosses, right? Like there's so much to do.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed for a game that's only been out for 3 months and its first seasonal event. I'm very impressed with where this is at.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I like the skins that they have, the free skins that they're given look amazing, right? And they all go together. So like you can interchange them. I even found a way to take the one that came out on the Prime today, which is the metal faced, scary jester looking dude. That thing
That's
is sick. But if you put the hands with the other stuff, it just everything that they've made looks good. And the outfits they gave you. You remember the weapons we got way back when during the Twitch drops? When everybody's like, what the hell do I want a sparkly blue weapon for? You want it for the gear you just got.
Right.
If that was foresight, amazing. Which means every time they do a Twitch drop, I want to grab that stuff because I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on having a weapon that look, dude, that was cool because I haven't had another piece of, gear that made it look good. And that went just perfect with it. So really good. Done.
It's a really good point because the shield is worthless. Like that shield is ugly with any other set of gear. Right. But with this current gear, to Champ's point, that shield looks amazing. It's great for tanks.
Yeah. To me, it's I was thinking the other day, I'm like, man, the free stuff to me is the best stuff like I've seen. Like I love it. It's absolutely awesome. And it doesn't cost a dime. And, it's a good time, yo. Good time.
Yeah.
Good time. But anyway, yeah, Winter Convergence, absolutely awesome. Couldn't ask for a better event out the gate. I mean, and I know that they had been working on that for, according to Robert on the dev update stream, I think it was years at this point. I mean, this goes back, and you can tell. I mean, the polish is there.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's not just a small little patch. I mean, like the shock value when you first logged in were like Everfall. The snow was capped up and you could walk on top of the snow. Like that's a whole new like level of terrain that
Yeah.
they introduced, and that's not just in Everfall, that's across the entire map. Right, so that's very impressive, and the amount of work that had to go into that. I'm not a developer. Cosmetically, this is a gorgeous update to the game. And on that same light, and I'll shut up for other comments, but on that same light, there's nothing greater. There is nothing better than the meteor shower that hits, right? Both audibly and visually.
Man.
That was very impressive.
That's so good. I distinctly put myself in Windsward because I knew this was all pre-server merge. I know we'll get to that in a little bit, but you know, I was distinctly just waiting, based my everything I was doing around that, you know, that happening at night. And as soon as dusk hit, boom, those, I tell you what, like, and that's one thing I feel like that they have set the standard for, that they have to continue, and I hope they do because it's ear candy every time, and that is audio. My
They
goodness.
came out the gate with that.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I mean, that was, dude, you remember? That was the first thing we picked up on during the closed beta.
I remember us standing next to a fishing hole with a camp down, listening to the fire crackle, being mesmerized by the you know, the fire bouncing off our armor the way it's supposed to, and just listening to the water and listening to all those things. Just an amazing, you know, concept of sound. Now, I will tell you this, for those of you that want to know a little bit about what you might want to think about with the gear they're offering. The gear sets at the top tier gives you corruption resistance. It's 520 gear, but I would challenge you to look at it based off of what you're getting and what you're getting for corruption. So for portal runs or maybe Merc Guard, something like that, it might give you the corruption resistance that you need. Also, you want to look at the weapons because the top tier weapons have luck on it. And I don't know if you understand what importance luck is, but the higher your luck is on your gear, to include your bags, your weapons, and everything, the easier it is for you to find these super sweaty pieces of gear in these locked boxes so you can make all that money or get your trophies up. So just a couple of little tool tips there to ensure that you look at that gear and see what it is and what it's for.
Let me ask you about that. Like, how did you get maxed out so quickly? Like, I know you gain XP by picking up presents, mining Gleamite, killing the Yetis, not to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't played it yet. Sorry, my bad. But how did you do it so quickly? Because that is such a great point. The gear at the end actually matters. Like, that's actually really good gear. And I'm only level 3.
I would challenge that next time we have the ability to push the gear higher, because if that gear was 580, people would be falling all over themselves to get that corruption gear because it would help. Maybe it's a balance thing. Maybe they didn't want to do that. Think about invasions. If they would have given us the gear at a higher level, think about the invasions and how much that would help, right? So maybe that's what you want to look at for invasions, is using that gear to do that. But how I went so fast was really, I wasn't even going that fast. The trick, every day, go to each of the Winter Wonderland zones. The actual camps that look beautiful, grab that bag. You get 150 experience from that. Every town that can be controlled by players has a tree in it. Go and pick that tree. Every tree gives you 100 experience. You start doing those things and then pick up the packages as you run back and forth to those towns. You'll be maxed out in no time. I have not even killed the last Yeti, and I'm already maxed out on rep. So nice. it's really set up that if you just walk from city to city, grab the packages as you see them, and grab the things that they give you for free, it'll do itself.
Yeah. One of the big things that a lot of people were worried about was, especially with our server merge, is that I was one of them. Is that those packages were not going to be available. You're not going to see anything because there's so many people running around on our new server, right? Not the case. Even on merge day, I picked up so many of those damn things, and there's just areas where people aren't going to be. So if you go to those areas, there are plenty of packages everywhere. And the other thing is, in response to what you were saying, Champ, about getting that reputation up, if you can spot where they're at, and if you pinpoint the times of the evening when they spawn, those Gleamite meteorites will get your rep up the fastest. They are quick.
Yeah, those were easy to farm. I remember going out in Windsward. back in '06, aka 2 days ago, when no one was out there and you'd be the only one to farm the entire shower. But now I tell you what, that's definitely much more of a fight for that. And I can't get over how good. And I'm sorry, people listening, oh, they're talking audio again. I teach it. It's just what I do. The audio on those noises, and even when you farm it and you see those sparks coming out, like, my goodness, man, it's so good.
Well, they could have went with the standard mining sound, right? They didn't. They gave it an extra sound. They gave it that gleamy kind of hit sound, right? So they could have just used the mining sound, but they didn't. So they took everything to that step. You know what's funny, Mike, or Cash, you said that about the meteors. I only got one meteor the whole time. One meteor the whole time. I never looked for him. So my point is, you leveled yours up really fast with meteors. I leveled mine up really fast by doing the long run.
Right.
So yours is a little more. So there's different ways, right? Which is good. There's not just one path to success. You have many. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is awesome that they set it up that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to call this out. We had a massive raid by New World Order show. Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Awesome. Welcome everybody. Welcome in. This is Loreseekers podcast. Guess what? We're talking about New World.
Shocker.
Merry Christmas.
Shocker.
Merry Christmas. That's everybody in.
I think what did it for me, so obviously audio, very sexy, right? I think what did it for me, though, is the first meteor shower I saw. I was actually walking from Everfall to the Winter Village, and I was in the woods, right? And that meteor shower took out every tree around me. It literally did. It destroys the forest, right? And like that is attention to detail I haven't seen in any other game. Any other seasonal event? Absolutely not.
Were you standing in the middle of that?
I was. It was literally on my face. I looked up. I'm like, this is gonna suck. I can't hold my shield up and block a freaking meteor, so I'm just gonna take it in the face. So
When it hits you, it bleeds you too. It's gonna bleed on you. I watched it kill two turkeys. Two turkeys were running to the middle of the field, and the meteor strikes, and they both just flumped over. And I'm like, this is amazing. That's just funny.
In a world where turkeys are killed by meteors,
Turkalon gonna come back.
You can expect the return of Turkalon.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm hoping for Christmas. I'm hoping for Christmas at some point. They will drop in, because for Thanksgiving we got Turkalon. I think we need a turducken next. Or Christmas ham.
Christmas ham?
I think there should be a war waged between the Winter Wanderer and Turkalon.
Ooh.
Right? There was some meteor showers in there.
Can we take bets?
That's when the show died right there.
Yeah, we're done. We just got canceled. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, Turkalon literally shits fire eggs. So
It's true.
I don't know if
I
you
want to
could
fight a
beat that.
reindeer. I want a big old reindeer, like an evil Rudolph or something.
You ever had one of them elks kick your ass out in Reekwater?
Kicked me about 50 yards, man.
You don't expect all the other deer are cool, man. They run away from you like, nah, I don't want that. They're gonna shoot me, take my skin. Reekwater, like, I know what you're gonna do. Come on.
That damn thing kicked me
just
about
bring
50
that
yards
shit.
away.
Let's do it. Man, they're angry. I like
that's
it.
how
though.
the sheep are. The freaking sheep. I'm serious. When you see a sheep, if you're within 20 yards of that sheep, kill it dead. Because it's coming out. As soon as you turn your back on it, it is coming to ram your ass. Every time.
Yeah,
Right off the cliff.
especially when it happened to me the other day. Like, where was I at? Man, I've been out farming. I've basically been playing my entire existence in this game the last week. Aside from the last 2 days, I haven't been able to log in yet. Of just around the event. So I'm out farming, doing my thing. I'm squaring up on a mob, and out of nowhere, freaking ram hits me in the arse, shoots me like 10 yards towards the mob.
Hell yeah,
And then I'm on the ground while the dude's charging at me. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, you got sheep yeeted.
Yeah, I did.
You did. And what I said stands. Kill them all.
Absolutely.
I do. Every
Everyone.
time I see them.
Let me ask you guys this. Out of spite, do you ever not harvest them after they're dead? Like, you know what? You're going to sit there and rot.
I don't like mutton.
That's very,
I do.
far. That's a lot, buddy.
100%.
That's horse.
I don't even care.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Maybe we should
write a song about
Can
it?
we have a meeting after the show?
Yeah. Let's have some counseling, buddy. That goes to you.
We're going to need to get together and do the 10-step process.
The 10-step process. Oh God.
So overall, like, not overall, we're still very much in this. I love how Winter Convergence, particularly the storyline. So, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't completed it or anything, but absolutely just fun. 100% just fun. And you can tell it has, like, this event has a ton of polish. If this is the the baseline for every future event we get, man, are we in for some treats. Because this, to me, was the most polished, brand new out the gate event I've ever seen. Ever. I mean, it's flawless. And not to mention, it was coupled with an awesome patch last week. What a win. What a week of wins.
Yeah.
Well, they needed it, right? It was
absolutely.
time. And what it shows is listening to the players, taking the input, taking the time to make it look good. They even did little sneaky things, like they fixed the auction house in a way where it's easier to look at now when your orders. And they didn't even tell you they did that. He just fixed it.
Right.
Sonny swears up and down they did it because he put that video out. I said,
oh my gosh.
dude,
Did he really?
First off, first off, they don't listen to people with bow ties, bro. That don't happen. That don't happen.
It's true.
So what it do, baby? Take it on somewhere else. We don't believe it. But it's nice to see that there's changes made, and straight into the server merger was perfect. The only thing that I heard people complain about was their trophies, and all you had to do was go to your house, take one trophy out, put it back in, and it was fixed. That was it. And so I lost nothing. I had everything that I was supposed to have. I jumped straight into the game. There was no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, this is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's it's completely fresh for everybody. It was just a couple of days ago, so at least our experience is we're now on Ferri, right? So Northwest. NA Northwest in Ferri, and it was a great experience. We were welcomed with open arms. There was some great camaraderie already. They're like, hey, this is the server Discord, come join it. Now everybody's joining that Discord for collaboration and coordination. Yeah, it's been a really great experience from a community standpoint, but from a technical playing the game standpoint, I only know my own experience. Flawless, absolutely flawless. I just noticed when I was in Everfall, there were 40 other freaking people playing in the same area. I'm like, this is how Everfall's supposed to look. Hell yeah.
So go on, get it, boy, get it.
I can't believe how smooth it was. I truly can't. I was really worried, and to see how well Winter Convergence came through. How well the patch came through, which we could talk about it ad nauseum, but that was an incredible experience when Amazon Game Studios needed a win. They truly did, and they knocked the event out of the park. They knocked the patch out of the park. Everything it's smooth. Little things you're starting to notice that were broken before are now being fixed, and now this merger.
Yeah,
I was really nervous about the merger, and I figured for sure it's not going to be back up quickly. There's going to be some issues, but we started to see the test mergers and how they went, and they all went pretty much flawless. And now you take a bunch of people on our server, drop us into another server, a bunch of servers, everybody's coming together. And the second we found out where we were headed, which is Ferri, Jibs, I think you went to the forums, and people were immediately welcoming and gracious and friendly, and it absolutely exponentiated when we got into game, and just I put a couple messages out to say hello and say thanks for being so welcoming. Got messages back. There was immediately PvP, which was amazing. Yep. There was no queues for OPR, which was incredible. We did more OPR yesterday than I've done since launch at all. And I heard that from a lot of people. So I'm not only incredibly impressed with how the merger went, I am even more impressed at how the hospitality on the server and the friendliness of the people has been. so far. And for that, we're thankful on both accounts, thankful to AGS and thankful to the people on that server. We're already having a blast.
I'm so happy that they had a win in a big way. I
Right.
mean, it's the first event, right? Like, you need that to go well.
Yeah.
You need that to be flawless. And coupled with an excellent patch, I tell you what. And I just, and admittedly, I haven't been able to, was it day 2 of the server merge? Yeah, I couldn't log in last night. I had a birthday party, couldn't make it in. And so just hearing all these things, it was fun to watch because I was at work. And oddly enough, I shouldn't say this because it'll probably change, but at work I have access to nwdb.info, the database.
Don't admit to that.
And so I'm there.
Come on, man.
Well, I did have access to the forums and the site, and anyway, that got, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I'm watching the server status, and I'm just watching it. It goes live at just after 2:30. It's what it was. By 2:50, we had over 200% more people in the server than we had at peak times on Tilapia and Telepolin, whatever. And for me, like, I'm like, oh, this is just exciting. This is good. This is good because, and I know there has been some complaints regarding like gathering and stuff being a little bit more scarce, but to me, like, I see this as, this is what it should be. This is what you want. You may not think you do, but trust me, you do.
Well, the gathering now, people aren't complaining because now when you walk up to that, node, you're excited when you see it, right? So it was what it was at the beginning, because remember when we first started, we had people on the servers. Our server was pretty full. It was pretty active. So you were fighting over the nodes now. Now you're getting that same, that is part of an MMO that I want. I don't like to watch. Remember I said, I think it's too much.
Yeah.
I think they're dropping too much stuff. It's just, we didn't have enough people farming.
Right.
Now that we have a good balance, it's perfect because it's not there every time. So now you ain't got to worry about filling up your storage areas with all these mats that you might need in the future.
Yeah.
Right. So and you're able to sell mats a little bit at a decent rate. Things move very fast.
Oh, yeah.
On a heavier server. So the economy is working, and this is what the economy was supposed to look like, but there wasn't enough people to support it, right? This is what a player-driven economy is supposed to look like, and it's starting to even up. Remember when everybody's like, oh my God, there's no gold in the game. We was in the game 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, this game has come a long ways. If you think about the 3 months that it's been around, right? The game launches and the whole community cries out for more servers, right? And they almost like tripled the number of servers, right? And then a symptom of that is you had low volume servers or low population servers. So we've ebbed and flowed between these two dynamics in 3 months, right? And this expectation that we're eventually going to balance will come true. It will come to fruition. But it's been 3 months of extreme polar opposite experiences. I can't complain with how they've handled it. They've learned from their past, right? This server merger was significantly better than the first creation of the servers and everybody trying to move, right? This is significantly better. So that also bodes well for the future of Amazon Game Studios and the future of New World. Right? Like, yes, they're listening, they're learning, they're probably creating some standard work. It's probably never going to happen again, knock on wood, right? But this is good. This is what we want to see out of a development team. And we're experiencing a really nice week. I mean, to Cash's point, this week has been amazing. We had probably the best interview with a narrative design lead, followed by their own dev video, right? Followed by the Winter Convergence, followed by a video on Mark Art, right? This is just a phenomenal production out of this team. It's been great. It's been a great last 10 days.
What a week.
Yeah, it's been a week. You know who else I think is learning? Truly, I don't think AGS are the only people that are learning about, the ebb and flow of all this stuff. They knew what the ebb and flow was going to be like. I think the people who are going to truly be learned, the House of Learned Doctors, are the folks who have left the game and are coming back. We've been talking about it for months since we started this show. This is what the launch of a brand new MMO, a brand new IP looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You have to be patient.
Yeah. And the argument could be made it's even more ruthless now than it's ever been to launch a brand new MMO like this in today's world, where there's no, such a severe lack of patience or maybe even inexperience. We talk younger gamers coming into space from other genres that may not totally know like how these life cycles work, and just to have all this together. And Solus, to your point when you were discussing servers, I still will applaud them for how they handled the launch of the servers. They didn't just inflate the server numbers. They didn't do that and stuff become unstable, ultimately becoming unstable. They added more servers, but they stuck to the server numbers. And then within 3 months, they've already consolidated and merged things appropriately. Guys, that's fast. That is a very, very fast pace. I mean, we've seen it time and time again from different developers, how they choose to handle this situation. This was fast. Very, very fast.
Yeah, they're definitely clicking along with fixes. And like we were saying, this last patch was massive. And to echo what Jib said earlier, if this Winter Convergence event is an indication of the type of dynamic holiday events that we are going to have coming up, look, man, I have 2 holidays that I live and breathe for. One of them is Christmas. Second one is Halloween.
Yep.
I cannot even imagine in 10 months, with 10 months time of this game to be further developed and be ready to rock for the Halloween event. I cannot even imagine what is coming for Halloween.
On that same note, I can't wait to see what they do for outfits within Prime Gaming and all the stuff that they're doing. Like they knocked it out of the park with the free stuff. Champ, you mentioned it earlier. I mean, it's good stuff.
Well, it's funny because now I'm wearing that jacket. You can't get it anymore. And people are like, where'd you get that jacket from? I'm like, oh, bruh, you should have been here 2 days ago, man.
Yep.
I mean, you missed out. There ain't nothing you can do. It's gone.
Yep.
And I hope that they keep it that way. I hope that that's the only time you could get that. So next Christmas, when we're walking around in our gear with my ice weapons, everybody will be like, where in the hell did he get that? Well, I was here from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I want to call the elephant out in the room. You cannot watch YouTube videos without negativity. I don't understand what game they're playing. And I need clarity because I cannot wait to sign in. I cannot wait to run around with my crew. I cannot wait to up my watermark. I really need somebody to give me a 3-page paper, double spaced, explaining to me why it's so hard to like this game because I don't get it. And I'm not being a fanboy. I'm legit saying I can't find anything that makes me not want to play this game or go to World of Warcraft or go to Elder Scrolls Online or any of those other games. There is nothing else that I want to play right now. And I'm not a broken gamer. So I don't get it, man. And I just needed to say that out loud. I do not understand because I cannot wait to get in game.
Yeah.
So I don't, is it the Netflix? It's the Netflix syndrome. What I mean is you being able to watch every episode as soon as it comes out.
I think, and I'm like 99% optimistic and like pro this game. This is a rare occasion. Honestly, I think it goes back to community. The people that are complaining the most aren't part of a community, right? They're getting into the game and playing solo.
There you go.
Right? They're getting in the game, they're playing solo. They're having to do the event solo, maybe a group of 4 or 5 people that are scattered throughout the times a day. So they really don't ever get to play together. There's not a good community to drive these events, right? To go and do PvE, PvP that requires 5, 10, 15, 20 people, right? Wars being 30 people. Do you really want to go to war with 29 other strangers, right? Or 49 strangers? Probably not. So I think that is where you hear the most complaining are people that don't have anybody to play with. It's not an insult to the people that are judging this game critically, right? It's not an insult. It's just, I think we have something to cherish, right? I think the happier people that play this game for the love of the game, they do it because they're friends. You said that you can't wait to log in the game. When you log into the game, there's 30 other lore seekers that are in the game at the same time. It probably makes a difference.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm seeing in chat too is Lark is saying most of the issues at endgame that the most competitive players are rubbing against. Yeah, that's us. We're seeing them. We are running into those things, and I think the difference is how you look at it. If you look at it from a positive perspective and you have a positive community, which is what we have, it's what we built, it's what we demand of our folks. I'm sorry, but we don't tolerate a bunch of negative talk in our community. And that's just the way that we are. It's the way we've always been. And we've really, really been able to build a really cool community around it. And this isn't to take away from anybody else's experience or anybody else's opinion, because we all come from different walks of life. But here's my major point. My major point is that, yes, we're a little bit older, we're a little more mature gamers, and we have seen several launches. We've stuck with games for long periods of time through highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
We knew, this being a brand new IP, a brand new game, a brand new developer developing an MMO, which is the most difficult space to get into. So difficult to get into the MMO space and to succeed. We've seen it time and time again with other companies that their games come out and then they fail. They come out and then they fail. AGS, we knew, had the power behind them and the power team behind them. The team that they recruited is an incredibly powerful team from the industry. We knew that these folks, number one, know how to build a game. And number two, they know how to manage and get a game off the ground. So despite the missteps, despite the problems, despite the bugs, if you just stick it out and just have a little bit of patience, watch this game succeed. And I would love to say that again a year from now and just go, guys, like, we have a little bit of MMO wisdom in the things that we've seen. So just be patient, watch it, grow with the game, and it's going to mean that much more to you after it really does succeed.
Agreed. Dale Luna says in chat, regarding playing, picking the game to play. Personal choice. I just started, but I prefer ESO so far. There's familiarity with the game I've played for years. Also, I'm more a loner, and A New World is definitely a community game. Absolutely, and I think that kind of to play devil's advocate, and I get that it's style of game. And again, there's a certain comfort level that comes with playing a game. I'm going to use ESO as an example because Cash, all of us, we're very, very familiar with ESO. When you have a game that's established IP that has, bar none, some of the most memorable, best single-player experiences in gaming, literally in all of gaming, I mean, I get that 100%. I mean, look, the name of our show is Loreseekers. We hammered that lore like crazy, and there was still tons to talk about.
We still didn't touch it.
I mean, like, we were just like scratching the surface. And so I 100% get that. And, playing something, no matter what, at the end of the day, whatever you play, the most important thing is that you're having fun, right? Like, that's the deal. Right. And it's something that has to resonate with you. It's something, no matter whether it's Warcraft, it's Guild Wars 2, it's RuneScape, it's EverQuest, whatever it is you're playing, that you're having fun in those spaces. And if it's familiarity, I get that too. I think, and again, personal choice. So I will say this from my perspective. I've always wanted this. I've always wanted a sandbox. And so to me, this is just like, this feels like, well, to me, I've always wanted this. So this to me feels like finally getting that. It's like finally having that steak dinner you've always wanted, so.
Yeah, I think this is maybe it's a little closer to sandbox than not. But I would definitely say that this is not, it's a good mix between a sandbox and a theme park, for sure. But this is not a full sandbox MMO, in my opinion.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I would say it's the most sandbox MMO that I've ever played. To me, this is my sandbox, because I don't know anything different. I never got to play SWG on the regular servers, not private servers or any of that. Like, when it was live, I don't even know how to, I couldn't carry on a podcast conversation about that if I wanted to. So to me, from my level, from my perspective, this is that sandbox experience.
What do you feel changes it from not being a sandbox to being a sandbox? What is the reason why you say that? Because I'm curious.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you're the one said.
Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I think that it definitely guides you a little bit more. The quest line. And when I say sandbox, I'm really thinking of SWG. It's probably the last big sandbox that I played. And SWG, they didn't guide you freaking anywhere. Like, you literally did your thing. There were no quest lines. You had to go out and find everything, the trainers for your class, you had to literally find everything on your own. This game, and it's the way modern games work now, it does push you in certain directions. Having the expeditions, like it's like any game that has, set dungeons at certain levels and all that stuff, that the game is pushing you in that direction. It's pushing you towards those themes. And that is lesser so than other games, but it's still present in New World. So it's not like a full-blown sandbox game. Other sandboxes, sandbox type games will allow you to have houses out in the open world, or you have your own farms and you can do that kind of stuff. New World, if it is going in that direction, is not quite there yet to really have that true sandbox feel. But it does have things like no mounts. You want to get from point A to point B, you're hoofing it. That's sandbox right there, which is actually very nice. Not a whole lot of loading screens, things like that, make it a little bit more sandboxy. But I personally think it's a good merge in between theme park and sandbox.
Well, it's funny you say that about houses out in the world, because in this new update, you have a gentleman there that's in right below, is it Windsward, right? He's standing right outside the gate, or Everfall, one of the two.
Yeah, glaucoma.
Yeah, you walk right up to glaucoma. I do. And he gives you a quest, and his premise is he's going to put houses out in the world. So
right,
that might be the next step. So my question is it not sandbox yet because it hasn't been? But then when you said that about the questing, that's a thing. I didn't play SWG, so I've never played a real sandbox. So my question was earnest. I wanted to know what you thought was different, because I didn't know. But I will say that I get lost, and I don't mean lost like not know where I'm going. I mean, I will get lost in what I'm doing, right? Like I'll go set out to do something and I'll end up doing something completely different on my own accord. And I love the squirrel effect, right? And it's good, but the game is big enough to where you can go for hours just walking around picking up something or fighting something. I've got the Death Knight title because I kill everything I see. Everything that's in front of me, I have to kill it. Now it takes me forever to get there. Then there's other people that skirt around it all, right? So we have two different experiences. So to go back to our comment about what is people's problems is, I wanted to clarify that I wasn't saying that I didn't understand it. I'm saying I don't understand it. You get what I'm saying? I get you have a problem. I have no problems. I don't get it.
I swear I don't have a problem. I swear to you, I don't have a problem. So the just for to take it from one side of sandbox or theme park all the way to the other. If you think of it, it's kind of funny that they're both Star Wars games, but if you think of the sandbox that SWG was in the day, okay, Star Wars Galaxies in the day, all the way to Star Wars The Old Republic, you have a game that is completely off the rails, and then Star Wars The Old Republic, which as much as I absolutely was so bummed that it was, Star Wars The Old Republic is completely on rails. So and one will not guide your experience, the other one absolutely guides your experience the entire way. I believe that New World is somewhere right down the middle, or maybe a little bit over to the sandbox side, which is okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys. I log into this game every day because I really enjoy playing it for exactly what it is and what I know it's going to become.
Cash said he hated the game. He went on record, says he hates it.
We need a new co-host.
Oh yeah.
Who's up for it? Anybody?
Yeah, we
Anybody in chat want to do this next week? What's up?
Yeah, we put in the hours to cover this game because we absolutely hate it. No, it's absolutely not the case, for sure.
Well, for everyone who's here, and this is definitely our Christmas edition of the show. We, like Cash said, we love Halloween. We love Christmas, particularly in MMOs, but also in real life. So we put together a little something for you that, we just think you should check out. So on that note, we'll be right back.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Our weapons were hung by our bedside with care, in hopes the marauders would even dare. The Covenant was nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of claiming Windsward danced in their heads. Our company in jammies and I in my cap, We had just settled down for a well-earned nap. When down the stairs there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the landing I flew in a dash, came in too hot, somehow avoided a crash. Still being quiet, I crept to the ledge and peered over the railing right up to the edge. When what to my wondering eyes should appear? Seriously? What the f*** is happening here? Santa? Is that you? Wait, is that the Manscaped pube clipper that was on my Christmas list?
Ho, ho, ho! Why, yes it is. Mrs. Claus will be pleased. Ho, ho, ho!
Manscaped. The right tools for the right job, no matter how old your jingle bells may be. Right now at Manscaped, get free boxers, a free toiletry bag, and free shipping with the purchase of the Performance Package 4.0 or the Perfect Package 4.0. And don't forget, you'll get an additional 20% off all Manscaped products and free shipping anytime with promo code Loreseekers at manscaped.com. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all! I shaved my balls tonight!" Santa, wait! You're dropping pubes every... Shit! I think it got in my mouth!
Never gonna give you up.
So good. Hey, don't
Santa
judge
Claus
us.
ain't coming to see you this year, dog. I'm just saying.
Chat's over here judging us.
Ah, I sent that one to the boys today. I was like, hey, here's a bit for tonight. Might be a little bit on the edge.
God.
Sometimes it happens. Pubes in your mouth. Go talk.
If you have a beard, you're used to it. You're used to hair in your mouth.
This is this is true. It's really true. It's like you live and breathe hair. Wow. So anyway, yeah, everyone, hey, you want to go check that out? Manscaped.com. Use the Loreseeker code. Get 20% off your order and free shipping. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Santa Claus likes it.
Oh, man. So with this successful week, extremely successful week, they came out with something that we've been wanting, and I think ultimately AGS knew that they needed to get in front of the community. They knew somehow, some way, they needed to get out in front, and if anything, just establish those relationships with their community, start building that community. And they did that with the latest dev update. This was an hour and a half long video on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean, there's gem after gem in this thing. I don't really know where we just pick it up, but was there anything in here that really stood out to anybody?
So first off, I agree. Everything was gold. I really started perking up when they started talking about mutations. So if I'm stepping on somebody else's toes, I loved this concept. I don't know if it's been done before, and this is where I'm going to rely on y'all's expertise of all the MMOs that y'all have played. That's a lot of y'alls in one sentence. Bear with me.
Sorry, Texas.
Are you from Texas?
It's like I'm from Texas. Whoops. So mutations, right? So mutations is this idea that weekly a mechanic, an attribute, a curse will be applied to an expedition that'll change the entire strategy, right? It'll change the entire experience. And I don't know if that randomization has ever been done before. I think back in World of Warcraft, before we left in Shadowlands, there was like a mythic dungeon that was just more hard. I think this is going to change the game. And this is, again, I'm relying on y'all's expertise here, but the mutations is super attractive to me. It changes the way we play, right? It changes the strategy. It changes the need for a YouTube video to explain how to do something. So I'm super excited about that piece.
The dungeons in World of Warcraft had affixes. So if you were at the level 5, you had an affix 10 added another, and then so on and so forth. And then you got to 15, and then it just started to scale up. So they did change and they did have components, but it didn't change every time, right? So like from my understanding, these mutations happen every time you go in. So there's nowhere to pre-plan for it until you've seen all 10 of these settings, right? Then you can kind of understand what you may do. But that's a lot. You know, if you have to have a different gear set and you don't know what you got until you get in there, you better start making those bags with that kit that carry extra gear and they weigh it down, because you're going to need that. There's so many different elements. Why did they give us that ability to do that? Maybe that's why, because you're going to have to carry 15 sets of gear with you. And, you know, to the point on ESO earlier, the one thing I do like about this game is you truly can play whatever you want to in this game. For 200 gold, you change your spec, you're playing something else. It's as simple as that. And I do like that. That's what's different about ESO. I had to have a different character for each thing I wanted to do. Now, you could do 3 different things with that character, but you still had to have one. With this one, you can do everything. I could be on a musket doing PvE, flip to sword and shield for PvP, and it's quick, and it's just 200 gold. And so I think that's one of the elements that's different that I like about this game over that, right? Just to touch on because I played that one too, and I wasn't into it as long as everybody is, so I understand the comfortability. But with WoW, they had it, but you knew what it was going to be because it was that way all week, right? It was a week-to-week thing. So it was very predictable.
That's a good point. So one of the examples that they gave in the dev video was like a curse that would null a trait like hate. Can you imagine a tank going in there without any ability to threat?
Yeah, no problem. The healer's got you.
Go ahead, Cash.
Got you.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead and take that.
Yeah.
But no, that's a really great point. Your healer is going to need, you know, a heavy set gear, right? So you can survive.
Yeah, I think we got a taste of this running the higher level dungeons, running the higher level expeditions like Genesis, for example, when, you know, you had to have blight resistance. You had to have some blight potions in order to get through that. And I loved that fact. Now, we were even talking about the other night where, you know, like, I don't think besides like these mythic type dungeons or these mutations that are going to be coming out, I don't think any other just normal dungeon end game expedition type content in any game had anything like that. And that was new to us. It's just like, you know what, you have to have blight potions in order to get through this. We tried going through it on a blind run, and we got motored over. And then we eventually figured it out, kept coming back in there and, you know, doing it over and over. And now we got it on farm. But I love the fact that getting a taste of that is going to lead us right into all of these different mutators that are going to be coming out every week on this weekly schedule cadence that they're talking about, and different types of rotations. And, you know, perhaps I actually heard, I'm not sure if this is true, but I heard you have to get through one in order to get to the next. That'll unlock the next one for you.
You have to hit a point threshold. Yeah.
And I love that.
The only time I ever remember, and I'm, again, from gaming, is World of Warcraft when you were fighting the dragon before, what was it? Not Sindragosa. It was the dragon before in Naxxramas, the frozen dragon, right?
Yeah.
Right before you fought the big, God, this sucks, man, because I'm a WoW player and I can't. Anyway, so Naxxramas, the dragon before the end boss, you had to go out and get the frost gear. Like, it was a thing back in Lich King days.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the only time I've seen it in, and that's my favorite era of WoW. So please, by all means, because what he's saying is I have all the trophies in my house for Angry Earth. We had the weapon coatings for Angry Earth. Some of us are rolling fire, you know, gems on our weapons. You know, fire staff would be amazing, but these are the things that you have to do it at a good level, good pace, so you can get it on farm. Yeah, you can clear it and kind of get through it. Okay, great. But you don't want to have to spend 2 hours in there every time. So when you develop these systems and you give us the ability to get these pieces to make us stronger, that allows us to get it on farm so we can get the pieces we need to make the gear out of there to in turn make us stronger. So it's a pretty good process. I'm not against it whatsoever, because again, I've said it a million times, it reminds me of Lich King days. The community's big, the stuff's innovative, and I feel like I'm challenged to some degree.
Yeah, the original in chat says, yeah, also nature res gear for AQ40. So I don't remember that one because I didn't have to ever go through that, but have to ever go through it. I never got to that point.
Nope, he's right.
But yeah, I love that. It's awesome.
I think anyone looking for end game, here you go. Because at the end of the day, like, your gear score will be increased. So above, I mean, and I say this, above 600 through a new resource that they're going to be adding. So if you're looking to push, if you're really truly looking to push, and if they set this up just right to want to bring them in, to bring us in, you know, through rewards and through gear, like, that's going to be such a win on so many levels. And I look forward to that, because anytime, here's innately what I thought. Mutators? Up. I'm thinking about Champ. Immediately.
Oh yeah.
I'm immediately thinking about Champ. And I remember when we were doing, or you guys were doing Mythics, and I never really could be a part of that in Warcraft on our latest stint when we were in it. And this right here, I want to push, absolutely. Because not only do you have the higher, you know, the gear score coming up through the new resource they'll tell us about in the future, but also, from what they said, some of the new gear sets that come out of here have some nice flair to it. So I'm just going to assume it's animations. Just guessing.
Yeah. Well, they didn't stop there. So at this patch or the next content, it will just be Expedition, but they were talking about adding this to Outpost Rush. They were talking about adding this to Invasions. So this could be a mechanism in many different platforms or many different ways of playing where you're able to have that in-game build or growth, right? So I think it's a good concept even outside of Expeditions. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Trying to think of how you can add it to OPR.
Well, like same
Maybe
with
the
Invasions.
bosses.
Right. Same with
Maybe the
Invasions.
bosses. Yeah, I would imagine just the periodic bosses that spawn in OPR that you could probably add different affixes to them. Mutations. Sorry, I'm gonna get shot in the face.
Bruh, you see it? You want it?
I did. I'm so sorry.
No, but in Invasions too, I mean, there are not a lot of people able to clear that, so might have to do something, because plus if you don't clear it, say you want to push a 3 mutation, you're putting there's risk reward right there. You push a mutation, you're automatically going to lose 2 tables on something. You push 3, you're going to lose all your fort stuff, which in turn would help to bring the forts down to a manageable level for somebody to attack. So you would have to, that might be the way to break the landlocks, because once they get that fort built completely up, it's murder. It is freaking murder. So maybe that is something they can add to the game as a conceptual way of breaking down the forts, and then you got to get on them quick. Then they got to defend their lands because they know you're going to try to flip it. That's a good concept. I could go with that.
Ooh, good idea by Tested Weevil in chat. What about a zone mutation that has to be cleansed from corruption portals to be removed?
Oh, that's cool.
That's sexy talk right there. Or better yet, how about corruption portals of blight?
Oh,
You know,
gosh.
different types. Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome.
Well, how about ancient portals? How about lost portals? How about angry earth portals? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they could go. Just because the corruption own it right now, what's to say the angry earth won't have portals next time? Or maybe, and their portals can be grown out of the ground. A cave pops out dwarven like, and they come rushing out, you know, in masses, and you got to go down in the cave and shut it. That'd be amazing.
Oh,
Dwarves?
I don't want
In your
dwarves because I
homeland.
can't stand dwarves. There, I said it.
I want them so
well, there you
bad.
go.
I said it. I said
Yep, this thing comes right out of the ground. This little obelisk thing comes out of the ground. A bunch of Dwemer come out of it. Let's mix the IPs.
That's
Ewoks.
Got some confusion right
Get
here.
Ewoks and Murlocs.
Lord of the Rings, you know, things.
Yeah. Orcs.
That's all I hear anytime that particular unit that charges at you. It's like,
the miners. The
Yeah,
miners.
yeah.
What's crazy? Have you noticed that they say words in English sometimes?
No.
I could have swore I heard one say, "You die."
Now I want to listen.
And I went back to the same area, and I've been running around that area trying to get them to chase me to try to reenact it, but I could have swore I heard one of them say English.
Yeah, I've heard that. He says, you dialectic. And basically it means that you stole my popsicle and I'm coming after you.
That makes
it means
sense.
that
Speak
though.
that language. You're not that
in-
smart. You don't
in
try to
Lost.
play that smart role on me. You don't know what he
Damn
said.
it.
We need to explain to the audience that we actually have the voice actor behind all of the enemy right here in Loreseeker Cache.
You dialectic.
Perfect. He also did the healer. He also did the healer voice.
He wants a cheeseburger and French fries. Hold the mayo.
Don't forget the limited edition Pokemon toy.
Oh god.
But anyway, so yeah, going back to these mutators. So there are going to be keys. So there's that. Something to keep in mind. They're going to be universal. Can be used in any mutation. Okay. AGS's goals, they want them to be readily available, and the goal is to have them to be able to be repeatable multiple times a day. And I know they're going to be bringing this to the PTR in the future to kind of test it and find a good, good balance. What's the good cadence there for players and, for the game. So there'll be that. Now, they did talk about new weapons.
Yes, they did.
Well, that's a fun one. Blunderbuss, quote, coming very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hands up, everyone. Hands up, everyone.
Can I ask a quick question of those from AGS? Does this thing have the ability to use a carnelian and get a taunt?
Because if it don't, I'm gonna be mad. Ooh.
Range taunt. Yeah.
I need a carnelian for my life staff.
You shut up and go sit down
Stop
right
it.
now. I'm done with you. No, but for real, I really hope. I've been trying to do it with the Void Gauntlet, but it doesn't have a taunt capability, right? If it had the same thing that the Great Axe did and all that stuff, you could use it for a tank. I hope that the Blunderbuss has a thing where if you use a certain action, it gives a taunt. Because I would love to have a range like shotgun blast for threat. That would just look cool. Knock everything down for a second, let it pop back up, but give it a good. I hope that it has that in it. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that real quick. So the musket, long range, kind of a single shot. It's slower as far as the rate of fire goes. This thing is going to be more of a melee, short range distance, more rapid fire. So it's going to bring that kind of blend between melee and ranged into people's DPS build. And what Champ is talking about is there's really not a range taunt yet. You got the Great Axe where you reach out and pull somebody in. That's about it. So that would be amazing if there was a range taunt ability assigned to this weapon. If that's the case, you better believe sword and board. And I got a freaking rifle on the back, ready to go.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Absolutely. And I love the way that they described it. Chaotic.
That's right.
Run and gun. Just,
Yep.
I love that. I love to see what that looks like in a next gen MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chaotic to me means close quarters.
Hell yeah.
For sure. And all I'm saying is that, hey, look, as a healer, for somebody who's constantly looking for escapes and CCs to stay alive, I am dying for a CC line with the Blunderbuss.
No, that'd be cool.
Because, oh my gosh, if you could have something, I mean, when I think of Blunderbuss, I think of like close quarters buckshot, right in the face. You know what I mean? Like that to me is the Blunderbuss. So I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm trying to influence anything, but for Christ's sakes, I'm trying to influence this so that my healer can have a Blunderbuss.
Yeah, they're saying it pairs nicely with melee, so and just all of it. I look forward to seeing what they add with it. The next one they talked about was Greatsword.
Yes.
My favorite thing they brought up with this was stances. They talked about stances, how if you wield a greatsword, you could choose a stance. I'm super curious what that looks like. Is that like a defensive, offensive stance, or what kind of stance are we talking about?
Champ,
Okay.
I think you want to answer.
Look, okay, so
Get it,
first
buddy.
off,
Get it.
sorry, but Ulfmir's line of story involves Tyr. Tyr and Smite. This is what he did. When I saw this, I giggled. If you give me the dude, if he's Tyr-like, it's over. I will never play another weapon. Tyr is one of my favorite gods from Smite. He would backline you and smash you. He would just AoE you to death, or he'd frontline you. This makes me excited when I saw great sword stance switching, because I'm hoping that the person that made this weapon played Smite.
Yes, and I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that would be great. I legitimately believe people who are bringing this in the game have been playing For Honor. There is a Viking hero. He rocks a great sword, and he has two stances. It's defense and offense, and you get a real taste of what that feels like. And yeah, dude, Tyr was dope. I loved the idea of seeing stances brought into an MMO like this. So, you know, for me, sounds like a lot of fun. I know it's not, they said it's on their table, but it's just like, you know, like it's not at the most forefront, but we'll see.
I love to see the influences, just like you're talking about. I love to see the influences from other games. It's just very, very clear. And like even the style of combat, this style of combat to me is very reminiscent of Dark Souls, where if you miss a cue, if you miss a hint that you should probably exit from being in that space, if you miss a dodge, you pay for it. You pay for it hard. And how do I know that? Is because I effing heal. I'm a backline healer. So if I miss it, if I don't have that escape, if I don't have the ability to counter something or put, you know, use my Warhammer to put somebody on their ass or use my rapier to escape at the right time, I am done. I'm locked down and I'm dead. Even with Void, it definitely helps. But I'm just saying, I love the mechanics and the way that they have pulled in influences from several other. I mean, we could name off a ton of other games that they've done that. So I would have no doubt they pulled that from For Honor.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's funny is it came out before For Honor, so they probably it's a progression. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So seeing something that works and not being afraid to use it. That's my point. He said For Honor with Tyr, and they're doing the same. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Having the same style of combat as ESO does in some aspects, right? Having the 2-weapon set with the rotation, not as many attacks to do, but having that rotation, not having that light attack. Thank you, Jesus. That sucked.
Anyway, Lord.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, please don't let them put that light attack thing in here. Thank you.
What was awesome in that same breath when they were talking about the greatsword, in that same breath they also mentioned a different weapon to go along with the shield, right? So if you wanted to wield a dagger in a shield, or if you wanted to wield something else in the shield, they talked about that being on the horizon. They didn't promise, but now my mind starts going through. Champ is he's a champion for the spear and shield, right? Like, okay, cool, let's do this, right? The Spartan approach. So that would be freaking amazing. Go ahead, Champ.
Let me throw the shield like Captain America and let it come back to me. Just pretend it's a paladin from WoW, dude. Let me sling that damn shield. That could be the ranged taunt. Let me throw that shield and smack somebody in the back of the head with it and knock them down, please.
How's it going to come back to you?
It'll bounce back. I'm a super. Look,
he has a high
spawn every time. The Azoth brings it back. The Azoth brings it back. Okay.
That's an Azoth count.
Now this is getting real rich. This is getting real rich.
Well,
it's a boomerang.
Crockett.
It's flipping me off.
That's not a knife.
That's nasty.
For in-game content, they did discuss modifiers for distance traveled regarding like the shrine locations, that being reduced. New quests will have an NPC that kind of like follows you along, you know, like the progress of your quest. So like you have your first one, it'll be there. The NPC will be there at the end of the second one, and it'll just kind of like be this progression. Basically, better quest flow coming up. They're working on new areas that are very different from what they've seen so far, and they're creating more discoverables. So like Champ and all of us, you know, the ghost ship, stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah. I've seen it twice.
Yep.
So the discoverables, that like now you're like, you know, you're talking my wheelhouse. Not that any of this other stuff is not in my wheelhouse, but I love random events that happen in MMOs. Turkalon?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. More of Turkalon. More stuff like that. That's only in the game for a limited amount of time. You don't say anything about it. You just sneakily put that thing in the game. And when I'm running by a field, I see this massive effing turkey. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I love, because that gets the community rolling. That gets me on Discord faster than I can hit the damn button and go, there's a giant turkey. Everybody come to Windward. You come now and bring your weapons. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want. Just be mysterious with some of the stuff that you're doing. This ghost ship, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I want to see it so bad.
And that is where new MMOs, whether it's AGS or another developer, that is where they can separate themselves from the old to the new. Is starting to leverage the community. The community is now matured. The community has mechanisms. They have tools. They have Discord. Like, let the community, let us be your champion. Like, Turkalon didn't come from AGS. No one said anything about it. It wasn't a tweet. Right? It was the community that said, hey, we got to go check this out south of Windsward or wherever it was at the time. Right? So let the community pull those triggers for you. It's a very creative way. And it was one that we all thoroughly enjoyed, whether it was an accident or not. It was amazing.
Yeah. I will just say real quick, like the Turkalon thing was amazing. The first time we ran it, we recorded everything. We put it on a YouTube video. I never had more laughs to myself editing a video than I did that. It was because it was just absolute pure first time we saw it, first time we were going through it, figuring out its mechanics, working with other people. The comments that were coming out of our mouths were hilarious. And that is exactly the kind of spontaneity I love to have in games. That's what creates experiences, memories.
Absolutely. Well, we got a very bright horizon on coming up. I know January, February, they're going to be working on bug fixes and getting things even further dialed in. And a lot of good things coming. And just real quick, if any of you have not seen it, go check out the Merkgard run that the devs did. Major props to them. That was really, really fun to watch. And again, just getting further in front of the community. And the comments section in the YouTube video was actually pretty surprising, not gonna lie. Normally I never even talk about that stuff, but it was just respect after respect after respect. Thank you for doing this. Couldn't believe you did this. Boom, boom, win, win, win. Last week and into this week, just been a huge win after win for the game. And as they further to balance things and dial things in, and I'm sorry, it wasn't bugs, they're balancing. They're doing a lot of balancing in January, February. But anyway, well, friends, we have a very special lore lesson. Cash, what do we got here?
This was a surprise lore lesson, friends. We were just going to talk all the things that we were talking about this week, and we were going to take a little break from the lore for the week because it was our Christmas special, but we could not get past Winter Convergence without diving into the event a little bit, trying to find out some of the real world design reasons, some of the ways that New World had designed the Winter Convergence after. So yeah. Enjoy it.
Cool. See you in a bit.
Lore lesson. Winter Convergence Festival. The holidays mean many things to many people. Various cultures from around the world celebrate the holiday season in different ways. This year, marking the first year of Amazon's New World MMO, brought upon joy and cheer as they released their very own seasonal celebration in Aeternum. Along with an impressive update to the game with new systems and bug fixes, AGS presented a winter wonderland across the landscape of Aeternum. The Winter Convergence Festival. Ice caves, snowy settlements, presents scattered throughout the land, and the threat of a forever winter graced our screens. What was so impressive to us at the Loreseekers was the development team's ability to capture holiday traditions and folklore from around the world. On this lore lesson, we will detail some of those worldly traditions and see just how they fit into the lore of New World's first holiday event. The dichotomy of the Winter Wanderer causes conflict in Aeternum, and the player is recruited to assist. The positive side of the Winter Wanderer champions his cause to spread positive cheer throughout the land through slumber and perseverance. At the same time, however, his negative side pushes the negative forces of winter, death, and stagnation. As players, we accept the cause of the Winter Wanderer and perform a series of tasks across the island to feed his positive side. As part of his plan, the Winter Wanderer has established 4 bases of operation in seasonal villages at Everfall, Monarch's Bluff, Weaver's Fen, and Brightwood. These holiday villages help facilitate the joy and cheer of Winter Convergence. The Winter Warrior and his frigid folk cause mayhem across the land as they push for a dreaded forever winter upon us. One of the things that appears in the Winter Convergence event is the Yeti. He's hard to miss. Ice caves have begun to appear all over Aeternum as a result of the Winter Warriors' desire to create the forever winter. These icy, snowy caves serve as a place of power for the Yeti and create snowfall across the land. The player is tasked with battling these icy hovels to stop the spread of the chill. But what is a Yeti? Where does it come from? Well, the Yeti originated from Himalayan folklore and different accounts of explorers and their Sherpas over many centuries, finding evidence of an ape-like creature inhabiting the mountain ranges of Asia, India, Nepal, and Siberia. In Western culture, we know of this creature as the abominable snowman. In reference to the aforementioned Sherpas, they are a Tibetan ethnic group native to the most remote and mountainous regions of Nepal, China, and the Himalayas. Sherpa in itself means East people in their language. Although much of the clothing for New World's Winter Convergence event seems to have a good mixture of several different cultures, there is a heavy influence of a Sherpa's traditional field ensemble. Long-sleeved, knee-high robes called kichau were worn. Chuba is also tied at the waist, creating a pouch-like space called a talung, which is used to store small items. Much of these items were made from sheepskin, and Sherpa clothing has a strong resemblance to Tibetan clothing. Another strong influence in this winter event is the winter solstice. The winter solstice is strongly represented in New World's Winter Convergence. Winter solstice, also known as the hibernal solstice, occurs when the Earth's poles reach its maximum tilt away from the sun. When this occurs, usually twice per year, once in each hemisphere, it marks the days with the shortest periods of daylight and the longest nights of the year. The winter solstice is a significant time of year for many cultures and is marked by festivals and rituals worldwide. It marks the symbolic death and subsequent rebirth of the sun. Fun fact, some ancient monuments, such as Newgrange in Ireland and Stonehenge in England, appear to be aligned with the sunrise and sunset on the winter solstice. An amazingly beautiful sight that has graced us in Aeternum for this event are the Northern Lights. Also known as the Aurora Borealis, it is a natural display of lights in the high latitude regions of the Earth. They display brilliant lights in dynamic patterns that cover the entire sky in curtains, rays, spirals, and flickering lights. Auroras are actually solar winds causing disturbances in the magnetosphere. The magnetosphere, as defined, is a region of space surrounding an astronomical object in which charged particles are affected by that object's magnetic field. During New World's Winter Convergence event, you can find the Aurora Borealis very beautifully and perfectly rendered in the night sky. A new type of random event has hit the skies of Aeternum, and if you aren't careful where they land, they'll hit you too. Gleamite meteorites are bright, glittering, and colorful and fall from the night skies this time of year. When they land on the ground, you can harvest them and turn in their crystals for winter tokens at any Winter Village holiday hut. Meteor showers in our world are celestial events in which a number of meteors are observed in the night sky. They are caused by streams of cosmic debris entering the Earth's atmosphere at very high speeds and on parallel trajectories. The Meteor Data Center of the International Astronomical Union lists over 900 suspected meteor showers, of which about 100 are well established annually. One of the things that has graced our presence in each of the settlements are Aeternum's new holiday trees. Special town projects can be completed to spread the positive convergence spirit and upgrade each settlement's tree of light for improved daily rewards. The holiday trees spread throughout the settlements in New World utilize decorations of various colors of the world on a non-traditional tree, giving Aeternum its very own holiday feel. Gifts can be exchanged within the settlements to mark the passing of the year. However, many of these gifts have gone missing. The Winter Warriors' frigid folk are not only cold and dark, but they're porch pirates as well. Apparently, they've stolen many Amazon packages from adventurers' doorsteps in Aeternum and left them scattered across the landscape. Public service announcement: if you happen upon any of these gift caches while adventuring, please collect them and turn them into Aeternum PD for a winter token reward at the 4 Winter Village holiday huts. Overall, we are incredibly impressed with the development team at AGS and the work that went into the holiday product in the Winter Convergence event. The sights, the sounds, the numerous activities and quests, the inclusivity of the world's various celebrations and customs, and the reward system for taking part in the event were absolutely top-notch. It showcased the attention to detail and was executed flawlessly. Well done, AGS. Friends, keep in mind, this is their first holiday event. Imagine what is in store for us in the future.
Thank you. I absolutely had to say how awesome the event was and how appreciated it was by the community and how proud we are of AGS for absolutely knocking that out of the effing park.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Wow. Well, friends, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Lore Seekers. We hope you enjoyed yourself. And if you did, tell us how we're doing. Leave us your reviews on whatever podcast app you're using. By the way, Spotify, most of you listen through Spotify. We learned that this past week, and they just put in a new rating system. So let us know how we're doing. But anyway, Champ, where are we at?
Well, you can call us at 765-382-6961. Please keep your message to 1 minute or less. Email us at loreseekerscast@gmail.com. You can find our podcast, written lore lessons, and articles at loreseekerscast.com.
And don't forget to follow us on social medias, because that's where all the cool kids are hanging out. You can follow us on Twitter. Jibs is at JibsIRL. Champ is at Champ2504. Solus is at Solus. You can follow myself at LoreSeekerCash. But don't forget, most importantly, follow the show at LoreSeekersCast on Twitter and also on Instagram at LoreSeekersCast.
You can also follow our second Lore Seekers podcast show called Lore Seekers to Aeternum, where yours truly presents our company's storyline in a role-playing setting. We talk community and company management, New World, and gaming abroad. Stay tuned on our social media accounts to weigh in on story decisions where you, the listener, play an integral part to our story. Last, if Dungeons and Dragons is your thing, then the Lore Seekers have you covered there as well. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Natural Ones D&D for all your 5th edition needs and potential future endeavors.
I feel another campaign coming on. There's a little jingle jangle somewhere in my body. I won't say where, but I feel a new campaign.
Send your tenders.
Maybe.
All right, friends.
Roll a D20.
Roll a D20. Friends, have a great week. We love you. And
love you guys.
Importantly, love others. Enjoy the game. We'll see you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.